Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is September 5th, 2025, and the top cryptocurrency news is as follows. We will start today's episode from Wyoming, which as we know from Crypto News will bring its own stablecoin, and we have learned that this stablecoin will be launched on the Hedera network. This stablecoin is not yet available in the market, but we already know which network will support it among others. Moving on, we will go straight to our ETFs. With data from September 3rd, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF had inflows of $289 million, and for that reason closed the day at $300 million. On September 4th, without BlackRock, most ETFs were selling, so we ended up with a balance of $357 million. For the Ethereum ETF, on September 3rd, BlackRock had $159 million outstanding, while on September 4th, without BlackRock, most of that was sold, so we ended up with $316 million in outflows. To wrap up with our ETFs, let me tell you that RX, probably next week, as one analyst says, will be bringing in a Dogecoin ETF, which includes both staking and spot. So we might have the first ETF for Dogecoin, which is obviously spot. Moving on to our companies, let me tell you that the listed companies holding Bitcoin have collectively surpassed 1 million BTC. Of that, Mr. Michael Saylor's company, MicroStrategy, holds more than 630,000 BTC, so it has the lion's share, as you can see. Meanwhile, BitMine continues to buy Ethereum and bought $65 million worth of Ethereum from Galaxy Digital, while DeFi Development Corp has bought 196,141 SOL, bringing its total Solana holdings to more than 2 million. Continuing with our ETFs, we move on to World Liberty Finance, Mr. Trump's DeFi project, which is down less than 40% from its all-time high, as tracked by CoinGecko. It has also made some questionable moves for a DeFi, such as blacklisting certain addresses, notably one belonging to Mr. Justin Sun, who had been transferring funds. An Ethereum wallet linked to Tron founder Mr. Justin Sun was blacklisted after a $9 million transfer from WLF, according to blockchain data. It's unclear why World Liberty Financial would have blacklisted the wallet, and as I said, it's unusual for a DeFi to blacklist addresses. In response, Mr. Justin Sun addressed X and essentially said that he was just doing some testing. The amounts were very small, and then he tested an address, clarifying that he didn't make a buy or sell. That was Mr. Justin Sun's statement on the whole matter. Moving on, we'll also cover the major developments in stablecoins, which are becoming increasingly intense. First, Ripple's stablecoin is expanding into Africa. Ripple, the digital asset company focused on payments, is expanding its stablecoin, Ripple USD, to institutions in Africa through new partnerships with Cybercash, Yellowcard, and others. The launch aims to give companies across the continent access to a stable digital dollar designed for cross-border payments, liquidity, and regulatory compliance via blockchain. In doing so, Ripple is expanding its stablecoin to a region of the world where we know it can definitely be used. But as I said, the stablecoin race is still on, and we'll also look at One Money, a company that's looking to enter the stablecoin market and is already doing quite well. Let's say One Money, a company building a 1.0 blockchain for stablecoin payments, has secured 34 US cryptocurrency licenses and a Class F digital asset license from the Bermuda Monetary Authority, and that company is building a robust stablecoin infrastructure, like a level 1 that they want to build so that everyone can use stablecoins, you know. Meanwhile, two other companies are getting in on the action, and we'll move on to Fireblocks, which is a blockchain infrastructure company that announced a global stablecoin payment network focusing on creation and connectivity. Meanwhile, in other news, Stripe's CEO also unveiled his own level 1 blockchain, which is designed for stablecoin exchanges. We don't know much about the two I mentioned. We just know that two other players are entering the stablecoin space. Of course, direct competitors are Ripple, Stellar, Visa, and so on. And we don't stop there. There are others who are not creating their own blockchains. However, they are investing in cryptocurrencies based on stablecoins, like Mega Matrix, which has filed a $2 billion request for Ethena. Specifically, this company, a publicly traded holding company focused on digital assets, has filed a $2 billion request for funding for a strategic fund focused on stablecoins. More specifically, the funder is targeting Ethena's stablecoin ecosystem, with the proceeds going towards the accumulation of ENA, which is Ethena's currency, and the company said that this move is designed to provide the company with revenue from Ethena's synthetic stablecoin USDE while also securing influence on the network because it buys the network's coins, which carry voting rights. So, a company is investing heavily in Ethena, as you can see, and it's time to go to our favorite cryptocurrency market with Bitcoin at $110,000, close to $111,000. Yesterday, we had a drop to $109,000. Nothing terrible. However, the reason for this is the job market in America, where the growth of the labor market has lagged, as we can see. So let's say that private sector jobs only increased by 54,000 jobs in August. Let's say that in July, they added 106,000 jobs, and what they were expecting was to add 75,000 jobs. In August, they only added 54,000 jobs, much lower numbers than expected. For this reason, the market was a little red yesterday. And beyond that, another piece of news, which we will definitely see again, concerns Mr. Trump and the tariffs. As you know from previous episodes of Crypto News, the lower court ruled that Mr. Trump's tariffs were not legal and therefore overturned them. Initially, Mr. Trump appealed. As a result, the tariffs remained in effect. Now, the President of the United States is asking the Supreme Court to issue a quick appeal to protect the tariffs he imposed. Otherwise, they will all be invalidated. That wraps up the top news for crypto today. Is September 5th, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.